With the world and its ever-changing political, economic, and social state, the 2017-2018 IB Global Politics class was sure to be filled with great content. I'm Sydney Anderson from Walled Lake Western reporting on this year's IB Global experience. The first topic we covered in the committee was the Syrian refugee crisis. President Assad was limiting their rights and bashing the name democracy. He bombed protesters and used chemical weapons on his own people. In our simulation, the idea on what to do was split. Some countries like Russia and China wanted to keep Assad in power for their own political gain. However, most other countries wanted Assad out and wanted the government to be equal and for the voices of the opposition group to be heard. The method of dealing with the refugees was another issue entirely. With millions fleeing their terror-filled country, the hard question was, where did they go? Current conditions are not looking great in Syria. However, it is a hope that all citizens will be allowed to live safely. Our second committee dealt with the Democratic Republic of the Congo. A poorly constructed government and corporations stealing precious metals created nothing short of poor living conditions. The goal was to better the country's people by giving them jobs and fixing the metal problem. By selling metal for much less than what it's worth, it resulted in a parasitic relationship with the DRC losing. A portion of a country was also controlled by a non-government group, which had to be dealt with properly. Easing tensions with surrounding nations was also a goal in this committee. Developing the DRC posed difficulties, but attempting to stop the rising global climate proved more of a challenge. This real-world problem seemed and still seems impossible. Switching over to clean energy is not as easy as switching a TV channel. Fossil fuels are extremely accessible and affordable. However, if we want to continue living on our planet, we must use sustainable methods. We will be back after this short message. Do you want to keep living on this planet? Space companies have made major strides on the road to Mars, but it is nowhere near ready. The water running from the tap may soon disappear. Gas used by cars is killing the environment. Your burger from McDonald's, while questionable, if all real meat, came from a cow that produced methane. The sea level is rising, which is a threat to our coastal cities. A solution, solar energy. That sun you love has been around longer than you and maybe even humanity if we don't act fast. We should use the sun to power our cities, cars, and homes. Let us use what is given to us, rather than take what isn't ours. The sun gives us great power, but something with a more threatening capability is nuclear weapons. While North Korea has been responsible for many memes, their nuclear weapon program holds a huge threat to the global society. A president saying, "My button is bigger than yours," is not a tweet that will help. In our two separate committees, we delved into the topic of creating peace on the Korean Peninsula. Many were gone throughout the duration of this committee due to AP and IB testing, so the realistic success of these resolutions is not very high. However, we all learned how difficult negotiating is through the Korean Committee, as well as all the other simulations. It is quite possible that in our whole life, we are actually living in a simulation. A section of the class that was fun at first but got old after 2 weeks were mock trials. We will now show you actual footage from the human rights trials.
What were you doing during the crime?
I wasn't there.
Really? I present Exhibit A, a picture showing you were there.
You can't prove that was me.
Were you at the house?
Objection, leading question?
Sustained. Prosecution, restate your question.
So since you were at the house, action, speculation.
Sustained. Prosecution, get it together.
I'd like to call for a recess.
Great stuff. We also viewed a film called Half the Sky, which was about turning oppression into opportunity for women worldwide. All of the components covered in class contained elements of power, sovereignty, and international relations. In regards to the United States, they are heavily involved in the military-industrial complex. The complex is the idea that private companies and corporations profit off of war and weapon production. It has consumed American industry and is one of the many issues plaguing the nation. Our simulations also dealt with the Y strategy. The Y strategy focuses on the idea that the way to achieve change is through peace. On the other hand, the X strategy is about someone's personal gain and does not fully take in other people's conditions. The best way to create peace throughout the globe is through the Y strategy, but the question is it possible? A topic we discussed throughout the year was globalization. Isolationism does not lead to prosperity. Separating off from other nations leads to economic downfall, lack of social connections, and loss of innovation. In order to continue and to propel the growth of the world, we need to live sustainable and live together. Thank you for watching. This is Sydney Anderson, signing off.